Tell me a story that was told to you or that you experienced.
Echo chamber is motivated a lot by this current moment, in that the question of what it means to be going quote unquote backwards, particularly for queer folk.
To let the United States Congress know that they could not celebrate the bicentennial of the Constitution
So much of the material resonates with this political moment
without hearing from those of us who are not treated equally with the protections promised.
And whether it's folks in the 90s talking about having the whole school board turn against them because they're queer.
But I didn't feel so good when I was kicked out of high school for being a lesbian.
Or political speeches in the 70s talking about the media portraying them in negative ways and having to fight back.
It's time that we start fighting back. If the media won't represent us correctly, we're going to have to correct the media in our whole world.
It's so resonant. In a way, it kind of gives you hope because you see where change did happen and then how we are moving back, but you're also aware of how far we've moved forward.
Let the world know that we were not about to stop.
The audience will hear echoes of multiple kinds. They'll hear echoes between the sound from an audio cassette and a performer's voice. They'll also hear and experience echoes from a past moment to a present moment. So Echo Chamber is a performance with 5 performers and a collection of compact audio cassettes. And those cassettes are drawn from our personal archive and includes radio broadcasts that we recorded in a moment of crisis or process tapes that we used in past works. A lot of material from a set of discussions that I had in 1997 with lesbians across the US.
I guess radical religious folks who were concerned about the lesbian health teacher.
And some cassettes that are just of the moment. So there are aerobics and Michael Jackson. Stuff that's like such a part of our late teens and 20s. We're also dealing with our memory.
And why we remember what we do and forget what we do.
It was something that made sense to do together, especially because our memory of coming to be artists and engaging in politics. Not only was the cassette sort of important in the way we started to record our discoveries, but it is also a record of almost things about us that we didn't even know about ourselves. Like when I go back and hear myself, I'm like, oh, I was a different political being.
So if you think about this wealth of material on compact cassettes, and then maybe the ground for Echo Chamber is a belief that making the future is about imagining from those materials. They have to be reinvented. They don't only have to be studied or analyzed or listened to again, but sort of invented with, riffed on. So Echo Chamber comes out of proposals, maybe. One of those proposals being that an echo chamber is not all bad. And that, in part, is informed by our relationship to coming of age as political people and as artists. Like, we both had a really deep encounter with downtown dance theater and performance in New York. And that performance had a kind of insularity, in a sense. It's performing for other artists, it's performing for other queer folk, people who are also producing resistant culture. Performance is at the core of my practice, but I don't often do live performance for a seated audience that came, sat down, engaged with the work over time. I was really compelled by this idea of this form of performance. It feels super necessary in this moment to kind of gather together, to be together.
This show isn't highly choreographed, and a note I often give the performers is it's not precious. This material is actually so precarious. Tapes keep breaking while we're working, machines stop working. We're only playing from actual cassette tapes on cassette players, so also that just affects the quality, and so the voices are also interacting with this technology. There's a lot of having to kind of translate what almost just sounds like noise to language.
Yeah, I lived here since I was a kid. If you don't pay attention to them, no one's beat me up yet.
It's really an exploration of sound, the sound of this material, and then voice. So it's really like a score that has room for improvisation. We are invested in how queer history and queer politics moves across generations.
I, in my work, address or sort of unspool genealogies of queer life and living.
And in our casting, we deliberately cast across multiple generations. The kind of political work we're doing is understanding that this work that someone was doing in the 50s and someone was doing in the 70s, someone was doing in the 90s, really actually impacts people now and will continue to impact people in the future. The work people before us did affected us and made us do the work we did, which will hopefully make them do the work that they're going to do.